Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to discuss with you how the 2023 Camaro SS 1LE is the most underrated sports car, in my opinion, out there. But I'm also going to discuss what it costs to own, period. The full ownership costs, because I've owned this thing for 7 months now and I want to give you guys a full update on that. So real quick before we get started, thank you to my thumbs up squad for already smashing that thumbs up button. You guys are absolutely amazing. Now let's get going. So I'm going to go over my experience these last 7 months owning a brand new Camaro 2SS 1LE with a manual transmission. I'll tell you how expensive it has been to own, including the purchase price, how I paid for the car, what my full coverage insurance costs each month, and what I pay for gas. Also, I'll let you know how many miles I usually get on a tank, what my tires look like after one track session and 3,200 miles, and what my plans are for this Camaro, and if I've enjoyed owning it so far. So these last 7 months have been a pleasurable experience with this 1LE. This is a true driver's car. Because of the 1LE suspension and the chassis, it instills confidence in every turn. The way it performs on a racetrack is out of this world. Believe it or not, this car practically has it all. From rowing through the gears with its 6-speed manual transmission, to the extremely satisfying sounds that come from downshift rev matching, to the intoxicating sounds from its stock exhaust and exhilarating acceleration that its 455 horsepower 6.2 liter LT1 V8 brings, not to mention the bold and aggressive looks on the outside. I mean, just look at the stance GM gives you right from the factory. This 1LE screams,
"Hey everyone, come and see how good I look!"
And Chevy kept that same theme on the interior. The Recaro bucket seats, aggressive gauge cluster, heads-up display, suede steering wheel, and gear shift truly makes you feel like you are one with this car. I think by now you've figured out that I love this Camaro. My only regret is that I could put more miles on it. But when you hear how much my insurance is every month, you'll understand why I agreed to limit my miles to 6K a year. Of course, there are a couple of things that I wish Chevy had or had not done with this Camaro, but I am seldomly reminded of these things. Most of the time, they don't even enter my mind, as it is hard to have anything but a huge smile on my face while driving this 1LE. All right, now that all of you have paused this video so you can call your dealership to place an order for a 2024 SS 1LE, let me go over what you clicked on this video to find out. Then I'll let you in on the very few cons about this amazing Camaro. All right, so how much did I pay for this 2023 manual Camaro 2SS 1LE? I paid $55,000 and some change. Now, if you look at the 2024 and build it the exact same way as this car right here, it's an extra $3,400. Just in 1 year, it went up $3,400. It's crazy. All right, now let's talk about gas. A lot of you say that you daily drive this car or you're gonna buy it and you plan to daily drive it. Well, let me explain something to you right now. You've got to put 93 octane in this car for it to run properly. Now, if you're at high altitude, you may be able to get away with the lower octane, but at this low altitude, I've got to put 93 octane in it. So that's running me about $60 on average every time I fill up. Sometimes it's in the 70s, just depending on the price at that time. So if I were daily driving this, I'm only getting about 210 to 220 miles per tank on this car, which would mean that I would be filling this up a couple of times, if not more, a week, which would cost me anywhere from $120 to maybe even $200, just depending on what gas was running at that time. So if you're thinking about buying one of these to daily drive, you might want to rethink that. unless you just have endless amounts of money and you don't really care how much gas costs. So like I was saying, I'm only getting about 220 miles per tank. I'm getting anywhere from 14 to 16 miles per gallon. That's both city and highway driving. Now, if I were to take this on a road trip, I'm sure I could get it into the 20s. But as of right now, it's not possible to get it into the 20s. It's staying in the basically mid-teens, which is costing a lot of money every single week to fill this car up. Now, my full coverage insurance is dirt cheap. I pay very little for my insurance, but I can't daily drive this car because of the type of insurance that I have. So for those of you who are not familiar with the National Corvette Museum that's in Kentucky, you can give them a call. I'll actually link in the description below their number to call and buy their insurance. If you have a daily driver car and then you have something like this, or a Corvette or a Porsche, you name it, Mustang, they will sell you insurance on the cheap for that car. And it's really great coverage too. So because of the fact that I have my Corvette and this with the National Corvette Museum, I'm only paying $33 a month for this bad boy. You heard me right, $33 a month. But that's also in turn another reason why I can't daily drive this Camaro, because I'm only allowed 6,000 miles a year with that insurance. Now I'm gonna show you on the screen right now what the tires are looking like. They actually don't look bad. If you're a tire expert, let me know what you think about these tires. I'm showing you all four right now on the screen, but they don't look too bad for having 3,200 miles and one full track day with 3 different drivers pushing this car very hard. I think they look pretty great for a 220 tread wear tire. Now, I also wanted to discuss plans that I have for this car. I know a lot of you are disappointed in me, and I apologize for that you have not seen a lot of footage with me and my Camaro. Lately, I've done a lot of Corvette stuff. Obviously, you know, this channel is mostly Corvettes, but I did want to bring this 2SS to the channel and really have a diverse amount of footage between both the Corvette and the Camaro. So I'm going to definitely keep this car while I'm waiting on my E-Ray. It sounds like E-Ray allocations are coming out soon, so I might have my E-Ray, depending on the strike, by the end of this year. So I'll have this car at least that long. I also plan to put new ForgedLite wheels on it. I'm just waiting for those to be shipped to me, but as soon as they are, you're gonna see some brand new spectacular wheels on this car. Also, I really like to do some more comparison videos, and I really like to get a hold of a brand new Mustang GT, a brand new Camaro 1LT, and then I'd really like to get my hands on a Mach 1 Mustang and a GT350 Mustang and a GT350R, and try and get all of those comparisons done with this Camaro before I sell it. I'd also like to do another track day for you guys, because this car is an absolute beast on the track, but I do need some new pads. These pads really didn't cut it. I had the Motul 600 brake fluid in here and it did a fine job, but the pads faded big time, so I need some new pads. Now, if I were keeping this Camaro long term, I could definitely see myself doing a build on this beautiful car. And what I mean by build is, you know, upping the horsepower with bolt-ons, you know, probably wrapping the car in some sort of a wrap, and just really taking you along the journey of building this car out. However, I don't see myself keeping this long term. I just don't. This is a business that I have to run, and so unfortunately, I have to say goodbye to these cars as my use for them comes to an end. All right, so I got a couple of cons that I just want to go over with you guys real briefly. I don't want to beat a dead horse because I've actually talked about this in the past, but I just want to let everybody new that's on here know what it is that I think are cons about this car. And the first con that I want to talk about is the memory seats. For some reason in this car, I have them set so that there is enter and exit. And when I enter the car, 100% of the time my seat goes forward and there's not a problem at all. However, not 100% of the time, when I exit and I open my door, my seat does not always go to the exit position. It sometimes stays. And then I get out, shut the door, lock it, go into where I'm going into, come back out, and the seat is still in that same enter position, or the same position, you know, forward that I had it in while I was driving. So that's not good. Number two is the steering wheel. The steering wheel is a little bit skinny for my liking. I'm not a huge fan of this type of vehicle having this scrawny steering wheel. And that's why I put these on there, because these make it a little more beefy and a lot easier to handle. And I will link these in the description below. They're on Amazon and they're very cheap. And they feel good. They're suede just like the steering wheel. Next is the plastic material that's all over the center console here. It's up on the dash, it's on the door. I'm not sure why Chevy did that. It's a $55,000 car. Even a 1LT Corvette doesn't feel this plasticky. Now, my next complaint is right here on the PDR. Now, I don't have a card in there, but this PDR, there's two problems. Number one, it only allows you to record in 720p. That sucks. And number two, it will not let you record at all times like the Corvette unless it's in valet mode, and you're not going to keep the car in valet mode 100% of the time. So I don't like that. And then last but not least is skip shift. I absolutely hate skip shift. It should not be in this car. If you agree with me on all of these items, put your comments down below. But those are my cons. So ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope it helped you understand whether this Camaro SS with the 2SS package, the manual 6-speed, and the 1LE track package is right for you. This could also give you an insight on any of the V8s that are in the Camaro lineup, because they're gonna perform similar when it comes to gas mileage, daily driving them, so on and so forth. So like I said, I hope this informed you as far as that goes, and I hope at the beginning explaining everything that I love about this car really explained why this is such an underrated sports car. It really is. Every time I drive it, I feel one with the car, and it's just a fantastic experience. So if you enjoyed this, ladies and gentlemen, give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't joined the Brink of Speed community, please consider doing so by smashing that red subscribe button and the bell for notifications when new videos are uploaded. I hope each and every one of you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.